Everybody is someone else's weirdo. Everybody is someone else's weirdo. Everybody is someone else's weirdo. Everybody. Do you ever feel to yourself, man, I am so weird. If anybody found out how weird I am, I'd be in trouble. Because man, I'm so weird. Well, I would like to introduce to you the basket case theory, something I developed when I was a young man to explain what I was witnessing. And it goes like this. If you meet a stranger, could be somebody you want to date, or just somebody you work with, maybe just a friend. When you meet them, don't they seem pretty complete? Have their act together pretty well? Man, that stranger. I wish I could be like that stranger, because that stranger doesn't have anything weird about them. They've got their act together and on the inside, pretty confident and pretty capable. And then time goes by and you learn more about your date or your friend or your coworker, and suddenly there's a flaw. Oh, I didn't see that on day one, but there does seem to be a flaw, maybe a little weirdness. Day 10, looks like there's more than one flaw. 2 years later, well, I guess everybody's fucked up.
It's true.
That's the basket case theory. Everybody looks good until you get to know them. Once you get to know a human being, they're always basket cases. Well, I guess everybody's fucked up.
It's true.
That's the basket case theory. Everybody looks good until you get to know them. Once you get to know a human being, they're always basket cases. Always. Just different kinds of baskets. As soon as you realize that every fucking person is a basket case, you're free. You're free. What is it that bothers you more than anything, as long as you're healthy and you have a job? What bothers you more than anything is what people think of you, or what you think they think of you, or what they might think of you, or how they would treat you if you did this embarrassing thing. They're not better than you. Basket case theory. They're not better than you. They're just people you don't know that well. That's it. There's nothing else to the story. You just don't know them that well. If you did, you wouldn't be impressed. Everybody's fucked up.
It's true.
That's the basket case theory. Everybody looks good until you get to know them. Once you get to know a human being, they're always basket cases. Well, I guess everybody's fucked up.
It's true.
That's the basket case theory. Everybody looks good until you get to know them. Once you get to know a human being, they're always basket cases. I'll tell you, one of the most common things that people say to me as a celebrity type when they get to know me, they say some version of, gosh, you're just like a regular person. Why wouldn't I be? There's nobody who's not a regular person. Except maybe Michael Jackson wasn't. If you get famous when you're too young, you can be kind of weird. But even Michael Jackson, was he weirder than me? Probably not. Just different weirdness. Was he weirder than you? Probably not. Just different weirdness. And so there's something connecting this weirdness and self-esteem issue with a massive problem we're having in the country right now. Massive problem. Loneliness. The loneliness problem is now the epidemic. People are so frickin' lonely. Loneliness. The loneliness problem is now the epidemic. People are so frickin' lonely. And it's not entirely because they're not with people. Because they are. They are with people. How many of you are having a crisis of loneliness right now? Tell me how many of you are feeling lonely in a way that you've never felt before. Like just a whole new level of loneliness. Because of the loneliness, I think you're also seeing more addiction, right? One way to make the pain go away. How many of you watch this because it makes you feel less lonely? Loneliness. The loneliness problem is now the epidemic. People are so frickin' lonely. Loneliness. The loneliness problem is now the epidemic. People are so frickin' lonely. Now I'll tell you that, I have people in my house, so I'm not like physically alone. But I've started to watch, I guess what you would call POV or point of view video, in which I want somebody's face looking into the camera and talking to you. I can't watch interviews anymore, because if I watch an interview, I'm watching two people talk to each other, and I'm not part of it. But if I watch one person talking to me, I could probably even watch one of those makeup videos, because it's just somebody putting on their makeup and just talking to you. I would totally watch that. It has nothing to do with the makeup. Loneliness. The loneliness problem is now the epidemic. People are so frickin' lonely. Loneliness. The loneliness problem is now the epidemic. People are so frickin' lonely. I think there's something happening that's bigger than what we understand. Because there's a second epidemic, and I think it's connected. two epidemics that are interacting with each other. So one is the loneliness, and the other is narcissism. I believe narcissism has gone from something that people had and you could stay away from them to something closer to an epidemic. And I think social media has done that. What I've learned about this narcissism thing is I used to think it was people who thought they were great. I used to think it was people who thought they were great. This narcissism thing, it's not about people thinking they're great. It's about people who have broken self-esteem. Just completely broken. And the way that they deal with their broken self-esteem is by belittling other people, one-upping them, bragging, putting them down, shutting them down, thwarting them in any way you can. Now, I used to look at those people because they're everywhere. But man, are there more of them? There are, right? And I think it's because people who might have been sort of on the border of being that way just got pushed over the edge by social media. I used to think it was people who thought they were great. I used to think it was people who thought they were great. This narcissism thing, it's not about people thinking they're great. It's about people who have broken self-esteem. Just completely broken. Imagine living in a world where everybody is criticizing everybody for everything. That's our world. We live in a world where everybody's criticizing everybody for everything. Imagine that. How would you like to be a teenager and be criticized on everything? The shirt you wore that one day, the embarrassing thing you did just once, but somebody saw it. You're not as pretty or as handsome or as strong or good at sports as this other person. It's gotta be devastating. And there's just more of it. Because it's in your face, you're seeing the impossible images, the people who you want to be like, but you're not, etc. I used to think it was people who thought they were great. I used to think it was people who thought they were great. This narcissism thing, it's not about people thinking they're great. It's about people who have broken self-esteem. Just completely broken. I used to think it was people who thought they were great. I used to think it was people who thought they were great. This narcissism thing, it's not about people thinking they're great. It's about people who have broken self-esteem. Just completely broken. There's somebody out here watching this right now. You might be watching it live, or somebody might be showing it to you. But I'm kind of talking to you directly. You're feeling super lonely. You might be addicted, and you're trying to figure out a way out. And you're thinking, what the hell do I do? I'm trapped, I'm lonely, and maybe addicted, and I have low self-esteem. And all these people who are doing better than me are beating up on me and they're controlling me. Their opinions are actually just breaking my brain. I can't stop thinking about what they said about me. Is that you? Yeah, that is you. I'm gonna give you at least a few tricks. This will just be a start. It's not gonna fix anybody instantly. But I'll give you a few tricks for escaping that, okay? Some brain hacks, some life hacks. It goes like this. Number one, always remember the basket case theory. That's trick one. Everybody's broken. Always remember the basket case theory. No complete people. is insulting you? They're broken. Did you say to yourself, oh my goodness, somebody who's normal is criticizing me? Do you know how many times that's happened? How many times has a person who's got it together and they're normal and they're criticizing you? How many times has that ever happened? Do you think a lot? Because the answer is zero. It's never happened. Nobody who has their act together is criticizing you in cruel ways. But you are getting criticized in cruel ways. You're being judged, not by good people. You're being judged by thoroughly broken people who are acting out. They're taking out their pain on you. If you imagine that they're complete, somehow good people, well, that feels pretty bad. Because you don't want somebody that you respect, or at least think is normal, to be judging you. That feels terrible. They don't exist. They don't exist. That thing that somebody said, it was sad. The words exist, but there's no such thing as an unbroken person saying that kind of stuff. Always remember the basket case theory. That's trick one. Everybody's broken. Always remember the basket case theory. No complete people, just broken people. Always remember the basket case theory. That's trick one. Everybody's broken. They are just completely broken. And you should have pity on them. Just completely broken, and you should have pity on them, and your first thought should be empathy, not feeling bad. So that's your first trick. Remember the basket case theory? Nobody's good. It just doesn't exist. And trust me, the older you get, the more people you meet, the more you'll know this is true. There are no complete people, just broken people. The more broken they are, the more they're going to come after you, because they need that. They need to push you down so that they can feel good for today. Low self-esteem is like a virus. You catch it from other people. Low self-esteem is like a virus. You catch it from other people. You didn't get your low self-esteem necessarily because you were born with it. I mean, it's got to be a genetic component here. But mostly it comes from narcissists who have their own broken self-esteem, and they want you to have a broken self-esteem, and if you don't have it, they're going to give it to you. You catch it from other people, and you can get rid of it, just like you can get rid of it. Low self-esteem is like a virus. You catch it from other people. Low self-esteem is like a virus. catch it from other people. You do have a constitution. You do have immunity, but it takes a little while, just like any cold. The cold wins for a while, and then your natural immunity takes over. Your natural immunity can get you away from this low self-esteem that you caught from other people. It's not in you. It's something you caught. And you're gonna beat the shit out of it. Just like your immune system will beat the shit out of it.
Tom Hanks was it.
99% of you plus. Low self-esteem is like a virus. You catch it from other people. Low self-esteem is like a virus. You catch it from other people.
Do you know who Akira The Don is?
Of course, he's amazing.
Be good at a few things that you can control. You can control. You can control. Be good at a few things that you can control. You can control. You can control. Be good at a few things that you can control. You can control. You can control. Find a few things that you can completely control and control the fuck out of. There's nothing better for your self-esteem than knowing that if you work hard on something, whatever it is, that you can become one of the good ones. Not the best in the world, but better than other people. But better than other people. But better than other people. And the things that you can control the most are diet, fashion choices, haircut, fitness. You can control the fuck out of those things.
You can control the fuck out of those things.
Be good at a few things that you can control. You can control. You can control. Be good at a few things that you can control. You can control. You can control. Be good at a few things that you can control. You can control. You can control. Find a few things that you can completely control and control the fuck out of. If you're not good at fashion, find somebody who is. Get some advice. Don't know how to exercise? Find somebody who can. Have them tell you how. Don't know how to eat right? Find somebody who knows. Have them tell you how. Find some things that you can completely control and control the fuck out of them. Just control the fuck out of them. Because that's where you get your self-esteem. I'm actually a really good example for this. And I'm going to say something astonishingly lacking humility. I'm a person who's good at a lot of things. A lot of things. If you made a list of things that the press has called me and asked for my expert opinion on, you'd be kind of surprised. It's across economics, business, humor, politics, persuasion. But how many things are there that you could be good at? All of the things that humans can do. It's gigantic, right? It's like millions of things that people can do, and I'm good at almost zero. Like, if you took all of my skills and compared it to all the skills that anybody could have in the world,
it rounds to 0. It doesn't round even to 1%. And I'm an example of somebody who has pretty high skills in a variety of fields, and it still rounds to 0. Be good at a few things that you can control. You can control. You can control. Be good at a few things that you can control. You can control. You can control. Be good at a few things that you can control. You can control. You can control. Find a few things that you can completely control and control the fuck out of it.
I can do well, and that's why I concentrate on fitness and diet. And you know, in the case of a guy, if you get your fitness and diet right, you're probably pretty good. So control the things you can control, get good at them, and remember that nobody's good at much. Here's some more.
Use your despair to find freedom. Use your despair to find freedom. Use your sadness, loneliness, depression, and despair to buy your freedom. Do you know how to do that? And by the way, freedom feels really good. Here's how. Do you remember that day you were lonely and sad and neurotic and anxious and depressed and every other bad feeling in the world? And if only you could talk to that guy or that girl, the person of your affection. If you feel like you're gonna die anyway, just do it. You're free. Go up to that person that you think is gonna turn you down, and guess what? They probably will. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Everybody's failing all over the world all the time. Go up to that person and say to yourself, before you walk up, my whole life is garbage right now. I'm sad. I'm lonely. I'm neurotic. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's shake the box. Let's just see what happens. Leave your box, walk directly up to that person that is way better than you in your broken mind. They're not way better than you, but you think they are. And say, you know, I just wondered if you'd like to go out to dinner with me. I think it'd be fun. Use your despair to find freedom. Use your despair to find freedom. Use your sadness, loneliness, depression, and despair to buy your freedom. To buy your freedom. Let me tell you a story that happened just like that. I'm gonna divert a little bit. Years ago when I was single, I lived in San Francisco, had no social life whatsoever, no game. It was before online dating. I mean, meeting somebody was really, really hard pre-internet. And I joined a group called the Spinsters. Well, I didn't join them. I went to an event that they had. Spinsters were young women who were single, and they had an ironic name. And they would have these big parties, and they would invite men. And it was just basically a way to meet people. So I went to one of these events with my friend, Josh. And we walked in, and we looked around, and we said to ourselves, not exactly the most attractive room. I don't want to be unkind, but it wasn't exactly what we were hoping for, with one exception. Across the room, there was one unusually attractive woman, and she sort of stood out as the most attractive woman in the entire place. And so I said to my friend, well, this is a disaster. We wasted our night. I'm just going to go over to the most attractive woman in the room. I'll flame out in about a second and a half, and then we'll be done. And then we just go home. So I walked directly up to the most attractive woman in the room, and she was my girlfriend for 11 months. Use your despair to find freedom. Use your despair to find freedom. Use your sadness, loneliness, depression, and despair to buy your freedom. To buy your freedom. If you had asked me what were my odds, I would have said pretty close to zero. Pretty close to zero. And it turns out that other people were intimidated and didn't talk to her. Now, why was I able to walk up to someone that I could normally not walk up to? It's because I'd given up. I had absolutely given up. There was nothing for me here. I just said, well, doesn't matter. I don't know her. If she turns me down, nothing lost. The moment you realize that your despair is your freedom, you're free.
Have you heard the phrase, freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose? You've heard that, right?
Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. How about that college class you were going to sign up for? How about that sport you wanted to get involved in? How about that motorcycle you wanted? Too dangerous, right? You're free. You're free. Every one of you who is depressed and anxious, you're free. You're free. Because nothing you do will be worse than the way you feel right now. Do something. Do something dangerous. Psychologically dangerous. Take a chance. Put yourself out there. Flame out. Get killed. Just get smashed. Just go do it. You're free. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. You're free. Do something. Do something. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. You're free. Do something. Do something. If you want to meet people, here's the best way to do it. You have to join activities. There is no other way to meet people and form lasting friendships. Hear this clearly. There's no other way to do it. You have to join an activity, a club, a sport, a gym, an organization, a political movement. nothing else. Right? You can't just make a friend. Like, good luck. You could try. Well, I don't think I've ever seen it work. Hi, Bob, hearing good things about you. I think we could be friends. Doesn't work. Do something. Do something. Join a thing. Make a sport. Form a club of your own. Just go do it. You're free. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. You're free. Do something. Do something. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. You're free. Do something. Do something. Why would you not form a club of your own? Because you're afraid nobody would come, right? What's the difference? You're as good as dead. You're depressed, you're anxious, you hate your life. You're thinking about putting I can't say that here, but you're thinking about maybe life isn't worth it. You're free. You're absolutely free. Go have some fun. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. You're free. Do something. Do something. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. You're free. Do something. Do something. I gotta tell you, I've used this technique a number of times, and man, does it work. It really works. You're free. Just remember that people criticizing you are narcissists. They are broken. Don't let it break you. You've got some techniques now, and I think you're gonna be a lot better. Go get yourself some friends, and you'll find your mental health problems feel a lot better. Go get involved in something. Join a group. Form a group. Be the boss. That is your advice for the day, and I will talk to you